Hey guys, Jagger Collector here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Zombie Hunter Spidey from the What If wave or the Watcher Build-A-Figure wave. Many names you can call it by, or you can call it Disney Plus wave too. I got this figure at Toys R Us Canada. I paid $34.99. He is hitting GameStop Canada as well. But it is a fairly cool figure, so without further ado, let's get into Zombie Hunter Spidey's review. Okay, so a couple quick things before I get into the review. I do want to start off with Spidey's bio, or Zombie Hunter Spidey's bio. Zombie Hunter Spidey. Zombie Hunter Spider-Man is in a ragtag group of survivors fighting his way through a zombie-infested world. Tried to be like Jeffrey right there, but didn't work. So here is the figure, obviously looking very, very good, but we'll get to that afterwards. I do want to show you his accessories first. So, of course, the most important accessory is going to be the Doctor Strange cape. Very, 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 very important to the scene. I don't think he's ever seen with the cape on and the mask on, so I'm definitely going to have him displayed like this, which is a perfect segue into the other head sculpt, which is a animated styled What If Peter Parker, which really looks good. They got the sculpt down, they got the shading down. I like the little rosy cheeks. Looking very, very good. So that is the Peter Parker head sculpt. And then, of course, it's not Spider-Man without the whipping hands, so he is included with those. Okay, so quick things to start off with. My first impressions of this figure is it is one of the lower rated, probably, don't quote me on this, Marvel Legends Spider-Man. I honestly am not a huge fan of this figure. I find it very toyish, and it does look like how it looked in What If, but really this would have worked for me. This is the Homecoming suit, and this is leaps and bounds better than this figure. He does come with butterfly joints, which is something that, to me, all Spider-Man figures should have, no matter where they're from. It's Spider-Man. He can get in these poses. He can get in these insane, crazy-looking poses. But with this, it's stiff. It's just up and down. And because of this, the articulation becomes a lot more sensitive and restricted. So I'm going to recommend that before you start kind of posing your figure around, to either heat him up in hot water or to maybe use a hairdryer just to kind of gummy out those joints for a little bit and loosen them up. Because right now, they're gummy, but not in the good way. So I've kind of been playing with him a little bit today because I did get him today. And the arms at first were very stiff. So when you move them down, you're going to want to start off here and just push down, because if you push here, then there's a very, very high chance that you're going to just tear it off, which I hope none of you have to experience. So the only really shading on this figure is this kind of blood spot right here, as you can see. I don't even know if it's supposed to be blood. I think it might just be like a little scrape or bruise, or who knows. But other than that, that's basically all the shading that would be on it. Even though it's not accurate, I thought it would have been cool to maybe have like a little bit more bloody and a little more shading just to kind of represent that zombie apocalypse kind of look. But it's accurate to what it looks like in the show, so I'm not going to complain too much. The cape is very, very simple, but it also is very detailed. So, of course, the Doctor Strange cape is, or the Cloak of Levitation is very, very, very kind of simple. Not very simple, but it is simple in the MCU. The only really thing on it is these lines going across, which it really, really captured, and it captured it well. So that's what the cape looks like. There is no peg, so when you put this on your Zombie Hunter Spidey, it is just going to rest there, and it fits good, but it will come off because it is not attached. So when you go to grab this figure, don't just grab it by the cape, grab it by the figure, because it is very, very it's obviously loose because there's no joint or no peg, but it's only attached by gravity. So which is the most important thing. So he only is included with one set, or at least, I guess, 2 sets, but on the arms, pinless joints. The legs do not have pinless joints, which makes me think that they're reuse, which, they look insanely similar. Tell me what you guys think. Are those, like, obviously the boots, oh. You know what? I think, don't quote me on this, I think the legs from the top to bottom are complete reuse. I think I just noticed that. The painting's obviously different, but they are, yeah, I think they are. The texture is similar. I think it's reused, but not a huge problem. This bottom torso part right here is the same on this, but it's different on this one, so that is new. So just the legs, and I'm pretty sure that's all that's reuse. Of course, you get those pinless joints, which are always great, like I mentioned. But like I said, very, very simple. And the logo is, there's kind of what it looks like in the MCU, and that's what it looked like in What If, which it's supposed to be based off of this costume, which you can definitely see some differences, but you can also see a lot of similarities, so that is very cool. You can see a huge difference in the Spider logo. It's tiny, tiny, tiny on this one, but huge on this. This is what it should have looked like in the movie. But there's your face. Not a lot more to go over, really. Kind of a, not bland, but I'd say simple figure. He does come with these web shooters, which are on his wrists, which I think they're removable, but don't quote me on it. And if they're not, then I doubt it, because they're kind of, you can kind of see their little, let's see actually. Are they removable? Ugh. I think you can remove them, but they are glued on, so never mind. But that is basically all I have to really say about the detail on design and accessories of this figure. So let's get into the articulation, or lack thereof, on Zombie Hunter Spidey. Okay, so like I said, the articulation is very simple, so I'm going to go over it very quickly, and I'm going to go over it with the Peter Parker head, or Petus Parker head, however you would like to say it. So the articulation just goes back, which is very, very good. Very high up, great to get. And then down, very, very good. Good amount. Perfect head movement. So up, down, great. There is a tiny, 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 tiny bit of tilt, but not a lot, a little bit. And then, of course, you can do 360, so that's kind of all you get on the head. Very, I guess, standard articulation. And then the arms go up. You're going to want to be careful, like I said. So that's as far as they go up, and then push down on this when you push them down, and then they do full 360, push it back up. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which go in that far. And then the wrists on all hands go up, down, and full 360. Like I said, down like that. Don't push from here, because you will wreck it. I'm gonna wreck it. The ab crunch goes down that far, back that much. And then, of course, there is a waist swivel, which looks great. Legs kick up that far. They kick forward, or that would be back, Jagger. They kick back that much, and then they do the splits very little. There's an upper thigh cut. There's a double jointed knee. And then, of course, the signature Marvel Legends ankle pivot up and down and ankle rocker. So up, down, and then it rocks. So that is basically all for the Petus Parker articulation. So let's get on to just a few comparisons and then my final thoughts. Okay, so just a couple quick comparisons. Here we have the Zombie Hunter Spidey next to the, now that I'm looking at it, complete dark red Homecoming suit Spidey or the Stark Tech Spider-Man suit. And then, of course, here's Zombie Hunter Spidey. Next to probably the most important comparison, the Zombie Captain America from the same wave, same episode, same show. So these characters were in the same episode, so great to get. Love that episode. Probably one of my, if not favorites, of the season, or at least the first season. So really hope we get more zombies. We don't really need any more of the team because we kind of have most of them except a remade Bucky, but want more zombies. Give us more zombies. Give us Stark, Falcon, all of them, Wanda. But anyway, this is the main comparison here. So, like I said, the legs are reused from up here down, but everything else is different, and you can kind of see that this color on it is super, super, super different compared to this one. This one's obviously a lot darker, but on camera, it definitely shows a lot more than in person. On camera, this figure looks super, super dark, but in person, the color, it's different, but it's not as different as it looks like on camera, so just keep that in mind. This one's obviously a lot lighter. This figure reminds me a lot of the Six-Armed Spider-Man, just kind of how, not necessarily crappy, but toyish it felt. So let's get these buggers to the side. And my final thoughts on this figure. I'm happy with it. I'm not super happy with it. Of course they could have done better. Of course they could have given it butterfly joints, and there really isn't an excuse for it not having them. But you're going to have him with the cape, and you're kind of just going to have him standing stoically, so it works. It gets the point across, which is obviously, or at least to me, the most important thing of any action figure. So overall, it's not a necessity for a lot of people, but if you do want to build the Watcher, I guess you do need them. So overall, I think I'm going to give this figure a, I'm going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. I'm just not getting that much enjoyment really out of it. It's a good figure. It works. If you want a Spider-Man figure, you're not really going to be disappointed, but you might be compared to some of the other ones they're releasing. If you want a good Spidey, just wait for the No Way Home Spideys, because those are leaps and bounds better compared to this one. And they aren't even that good, so that kind of just says it all. So, like I said, I have been Jagger Collector. He has been Zombie Hunter Spidey, and I will see you, of course, in my next review, which should be an action figure, and I might actually just tell you what that action figure might be. It's Doctor Strange Supreme. Oh, I just spoiled it. Damn. Bye, guys.